1, go.
Hey peeps, Timmy2009 aka Carter, and I'm back with yet another video for you. So, today we're going to be taking a look at the Gauge 1 Thomas the Tank Engine and James the Red Engine prop replicas. Now, I know what you're thinking. Carter, didn't you review these trains before? Like, we've seen your videos. Well, yes, that's true. I have reviewed these guys before. Like, you can actually go watch those videos. They did reach up to 1,000 views, so thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate your support and your love. And thanks for giving me 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know when I'll reach 4,000 one day, but I do hope so.
Awesome.
But here you have the Gauge 1 Thomas and James. And yes, I did review these trains before. However, do you notice anything different about them if you have seen the videos before? If you guess that they have different faces, then you're right. You deserve a round of applause. But anyways, yes, we do have Thomas and James from the actual TV show. And yes, they do have new faces, and they're more identical to the show themselves. So that's what I'll be discussing today. So I'm just going to be talking about Thomas and James themselves. And if you want to learn about how these models became a thing, then I might explain in this video if you haven't seen the other videos I made. Though I'm sure, I do hope this one turns out good. I don't know. We'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. No pun takers or trains.
Right. And they cross bridges when they get to them.
People can make clever train puns.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but that's not what we're talking about. So let's start with the main guy himself, Thomas the Tank Engine. So if you have been following me, Thomas the Tank Engine is a huge part of my childhood, and it holds a special place in my heart. Out of every cartoon and movie that I have seen as a kid growing up, this one stuck out the most. I think, and this is one of the biggest reasons. So for those of you who have not heard of the history, these actually started out as storybooks from the Railway series created by none other than Wilbert Awdry himself, rest in peace. And he actually wrote a few stories for his sixth son, Christopher, which I thought that was super nice of him. And he decided to turn those stories into books and sell them so that other people can enjoy his stories. And surprise, surprise, they did. And he kept producing more until, I don't know when he retired from making stories. All I know is that his son Christopher took over and kept writing the stories. And then the Railway series ended in 2011, surprisingly. Around the same time the CGI series came along. But anyways, Britt Allcroft decided to make Awdry's stories into a TV show. And it actually broke ground and was a big success. I really think that the model series, stop motion animation, will always be my favorite when it comes to any type of show from Hit Entertainment. Now, Thomas wasn't actually bought. It wasn't originally a Hit Entertainment property. Hit Entertainment didn't own the rights to it until 2003, I want to say. I think Britt Allcroft, left after season 5 or 6. I don't know. I'm guessing season 5. I'm sure you would tell me.
Is Britt Allcroft a man or a woman? Do you know?
A woman. She voices Lady from Magic Railroad.
Was she related to the Awdrys or no?
No, she isn't. Her last name is Allcroft, and Wilbert's last name is Awdry. Those are two different people.
Okay.
Awdry made the books, Allcroft made the show. Sharon Miller pretty much didn't understand what Thomas was and just threw her own writing into the mix.
Okay.
And made the trains almost shells of their former selves, but thank God they didn't. Because Andrew Brenner actually fixed the show, and at least he used to until Mattel cut corners and... Yes.
Okay, back to your train.
Well, I just thought you would like to know the history of Thomas and Friends, but I'm sure you've heard that multiple times from other Thomas YouTubers. Though you probably haven't seen a Gauge 1 model before, which, if you don't know what these are, the Gauge 1 models are basically prop replicas of the actual props from the television show that people in the Thomas community like to make. And this is actually I actually decided to do my own Gauge 1 trains, and I think they came out pretty nice. And, having these, feels so much... It feels like a nostalgic piece, because, having these actually feels like I have a piece of the TV show with me. Are you
going to make any more?
That depends. I think the last models I do have to make are the troublesome trucks to go with James. I have Annie and Clarabelle and Sir Topham Hatt and the conductors. If you look right there. You can see Annie and Clarabelle. You can see Toby. I need to work on him and give him a new face.
Is that Lady?
Yep, that is Lady. She is a work in progress.
Cool.
And you can see Sir Topham Hatt and the conductors right over there as well.
Nope. Yep, I see them.
You can see them right there.
And
But
the Wiggles?
yes, you can see those guys. Yeah, that's another big part of my childhood as well. I love these guys. If you like them, tell me in the comments below. I'm sure we all do, because they are a part of Hit Entertainment. I grew up heavily with Hit Entertainment. Hit Entertainment is my favorite property of all time for childhood shows, and I'm sure Mr. Incrediburny would say that too. Yes, I do like him as well. He was the guy who like inspired me to buy my own Trixie Lululemon plush.
Okay.
So thank you for that, Mr. Incrediburny, if you're watching this.
6 minutes.
I do hope you like these. I know he does like Thomas the Tank Engine as well. Like, yeah, like, I'll get more into that when I talk about his favorite character, which I'm sure you can guess is James. So, like, back to Thomas. So, yes, if you don't know what I did here, I actually did 3-print him. This is all 3-printed PLA filament glued together with super glue or Gorilla Glue, if you want to call it that. It's like, it is supposed to be a strong glue, but it does not work sometimes. I don't know why. Because the commercials say for the toughest jobs on planet Earth. And if you don't know what this yellow stuff is, it's pretty much the Gorilla, like, clear glue. Though I don't know why it turned yellow. But yeah, so the chassis is actually based off the Gauge 1 Markland prop. So they take the Gauge 1 Markland trains, they cut off most parts of the chassis, and they scratch build these models with brass in the newer seasons. Now, I don't know what material they used throughout seasons 1 through 7 of the model series. If you guys would like to tell me that, tell me in the comments. I know most people use styrofoam to, like, or, like, foam boards to, like, make these Gauge 1 trains from scratch. And the wheels are actually custom Markland wheels. And so are most of the things, like, one. Yeah, I'll get to one thing I don't like about this later. Okay, so.
7 minutes.
Anyways. The buffers here are from Markland trains, and so is the coupling hook. Though, because this is 3-print, this whole entire thing is 3-printed. Like, there's not a single thing that is already original. If I can just, like, get his side rods back on.
Is that the part you don't like?
Yes, spoiler alert. Wait, now, the back of the cab is pretty interesting. So, these are called toothpicks underneath the windows to, like... I don't know what these bars are on the windows. I'm sure you could tell me that as well. But yeah, if you can see, there are painted toothpicks. I actually had to, like,
oh, cool.
Put them in. If you can see, like, in the bottom, that's part of the chassis. Like, I don't know, like, what the actual inside of the models look like. No, I'm sure they use close-up models, like, bigger models, so that they didn't have to, like, zoom in really hard on the camera. And they had to make close-up models of the human figures so that they'll have closer faces. And another thing is that these model trains do have different faces in the show. Like, I mean, they do have the same eye mechanism where the trains can move their eyes up, down, left, right, which is very awesome technology. I like how the eyes move. Now, I'm sure most people may find it weird that the mouths don't talk. Like, the trains can still talk, but their mouths don't move. Because this is stop motion animation. Though, you can't say the same for things like Fireman Sam or Bob the Builder, because, like, they managed to pull off the talking mouse pretty well. Same with Postman Pat later, and if you don't know what that is, it's a UK show. I'm sure most people wouldn't know from the US if they haven't seen it. Though you can watch it on YouTube. But yeah, not every show from Hit Entertainment is a stop-motion animation show. There are a few live-action shows, and I'm sure you could guess, like, that. But anyways, like, Hit Entertainment has, like, made a lot of great shows. Like, I think almost every one of their shows is flawless. While, yes, there are shows that most people might not like. But anyways, back to, like, the main guy, Thomas. So the funnel is, like, a bit of separate, like, so is the dome. Like, pretty much there's a lot of separate pieces. If you can see, like, most of the crevices behind the model.
You can't really tell.
Yeah, like, I had to, like, glue most parts. Like, I had to separate the side tanks, the cab, and the boiler. Like, I think those are all separate. Like, the one hard thing I had to do was, like, squeeze the boiler inside the cab, because these things wanted to, like, keep coming off.
10 minutes.
So I had to glue them back on. Anyways,
It's great, though.
Yeah, he looks nice. The number 1 on the side is a actual decal printed from paper. Now, he doesn't have the back lining like in seasons 1 through, like, I don't know, like, when they stopped giving Thomas his back lining, though I think to start from Magic Railroad, but I could be wrong. And here's the face. Now, this is a much more accurate face to the show. Good. Like, this is leagues better than the other face. So, if you have seen the other face, like, it's basically a face from Reginald Payne's Railway Series illustrations from the books. So, like, it wasn't entirely accurate. It was just kind of close, but I would say this face is a lot better. This really captures Thomas the Tank Engine.
Did you
Now,
find a pattern for it?
actually, the face did come from the Lazy Train. He's the one who created these faces, so shout out to him. Anyways, so one thing I do have a problem with the face is that his pupils are a little too small.
I don't think they look good. I think they would look creepy if they were bigger.
No. I would think they would look better if they were bigger. Like,
oh, I like them like that.
Like, his pupils, like, way too small. Like, almost like he's shocked or something. Like, he kind of looks like a Simpsons character or a South Park character.
I think if they were bigger, he would look like a Disney princess with big doe eyes. And you would not like it.
Or sure, like...
Tails.
Sure, whatever, like, floats your boat.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm sure you can guess that. But, like, I always liked it when the pupils were a bit big. Like, not too big, but, you know, like... I would say the pupils are a little bit too small. I feel like they could have been better, but, like, I'm happy that I was able to, like, print the face in white so I could, like, keep the white eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And just have to, like, paint the pupils on. Excuse me. But, yeah. Now, he's missing a few details, like his lamp irons and his lamp. Now, the lamp irons are what, like, I'm guessing, like, they're to, like, attach lamp onto. That's why they're called lamp irons. I don't know. And he is missing his brake pipe, and... Again, I don't know what the brake pipe does. Like, I know what the brakes are. They basically stop the train from moving if it's going too fast.
If they're hydraulic brakes, maybe it's to put hydraulic fluid in?
I'm sure that's what the brake pipe does.
Like that. Air, depending on what
powers it. I'm sure you would tell me about most parts of the train.
I bet someone could tell you.
I only know a few certain things, like the side rods are what hold the wheels together and, like, get them to function properly. Because, like, I don't think a train can move, like, all of its wheels unless it's powered by one unit, like... Because basically, only one wheel is powered, but the other wheels are static and they don't move. So the side rod pretty much helps those other wheels move. Yep. It keeps them in line. So let's talk about the biggest nitpick I have with this. The side rods keep falling off too easily. Now, yes, I did update the side rods, and this is all one big piece, and it's not separate, which I'm glad. Though I still don't like how the side rods fall off.
You can't glue it?
No, I can't glue it, because then it's not going to...
Because then it won't spin.
It's not going to spin.
Right.
Now, if you look at the side rods on James... He has these things called crank pins, and those are what hold the side rods, like, in place.
Well, why couldn't you redesign a side rod for him with the crank pins from that pattern?
Because then it would look awkward. It wouldn't look like Thomas. It would basically like...
he doesn't have... Okay, gotcha.
It would basically be like if Thomas stole James's wheels and colored them blue.
Gotcha.
I'm sure he wouldn't like that.
I guess he'll just have to keep those then.
Yeah, like, these are Thomas's accurate wheels. They are a little bit sloppy, but, like, a little bit messy. But, like, not sloppy, because, like, I did put effort into making these because I wanted to make them as close as I can.
13
Though I'm sure you probably asked me why I couldn't have just used pinstriping to make the red stripes and not paint them on. Because yes, it would look nice, though I just feel like this is more easy. And it does save up money from buying pinstripes. And you may be questioning why he doesn't have his eye mechanism. Well, that's a bit hard for me. Like, I think buying the servos would be a lot, and motorizing them would be a bit harder as well. Because, like, I mean, I'm sure I could make a motorized Thomas, though I would have to make a second Thomas to find that out. Maybe one day. And who knows, maybe one day I'll give him an eye mechanism. Maybe he could, like, do his eye rolling thing. Yeah, which is iconic. Okay, so, before I waste any more time, let's take a look at the shiny red boy himself, James the Red Engine. Now, James has always been one of my favorite Thomas characters of all time, and I'm sure he's a fan favorite to a lot of people. And I recently, like, there are a lot of people who say that James is their favorite character. Yeah, Mr. Slow King, you have Train Boy, and you obviously have Mr. Incredibroni. So, James is actually his favorite character, and the reason I found that out is because when he did, like, most of his live streams, like, before, like, before he got the better technology to, like, have them kept up on his channel, like, basically his live streams are, like, he basically replies to comments, like, in the live chat, and one thing I asked him, like, I asked him who his favorite Thomas character was, and he said James the Red Engine, because he actually did play the Thomas game Special Delivery as a kid, and that pretty shocks me, like, I used to play that game as well as a kid, like, you have no idea how many, like, games and, like, movies and episodes I have watched from Thomas and Friends. Like, it's obvious that I'm a huge fan of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. That isn't pretty clear. Like, but anyways, like,
15.
So, for James the Red Engine, like, okay, I'm gonna say right off the bat, he has, like, one of the best and most gorgeous faces, like, the most beautiful faces in the show. Like, he seriously has a beautiful face. Like, who can't say that this is a great face? Now, I do have his older face. Like, if you remember, like, the old Gage 1 James, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say that this is my least favorite smiling face. Like, this is my least favorite.
Where did that come from?
I actually did pop off the face. Like, it was held on with, like, no, wait. It wasn't held on with glue back then. Like,
no, but I mean, just now, where did you have it?
I kept it with the other James faces, like the old ones.
No, but in the video.
Well, it was actually on his face. Like, well, I don't know. Like, it's
Okay.
weird. But anyways, I
didn't see you pull it out of your pocket or whatever.
I'm saying either way, this is my least favorite smiling James face. I don't know why, but his smile is just too thin. Like, I don't think anyone's ever gonna like believe that he is actually smiling. Like, that's just too of a yeah, I don't know.
Like a smirk, maybe. I don't know. It's creepy.
That is like has to be like my least favorite James face ever.
Yeah, and I don't like those ginormous eyes.
Well, he does have the same eyes, like the same pupils, but okay. So this is a way much better face. Look at this face and look at this face. You can obviously tell that this one.
Yes, it's a big improvement.
Like, he does have a nice big smile, and he does have the lines on his like eyes, and I do think his eyebrows actually did come out nice, and same thing with the pupils. I don't understand how I was able to like make Thomas's small pupils and like have James have bigger pupils. I do wish Thomas's pupils weren't small. But yeah, like, I think another thing is that these things do come off easily. Like, I had to like glue them, which is frustrating. And one of them is a bit like
higher
up. Like, that's not supposed to be like that. Like, his fenders, that's what they're actually called, like, aren't supposed to be high. Like, and again, he's missing his lamp irons, he's missing his brake pipe, and he doesn't have his handrails or his whistle.
What goes where the little holes are?
The handrails. Oh. That's so the driver can step on the train.
You don't have them?
I don't know, because like, I don't know like how I might make them. Like, you can actually 3D print them if you want, but I just didn't, because like, I don't think it would work.
Alright.
Same thing with his whistle. Though, I might add his whistle at some point. I don't know about his handrails.
18.
And again, his side rods are like held on by these crank pins. Like, those little slots on the bottom.
Yeah, they look really cool. Those are all 3D printed?
Yes, all of his wheels are 3D printed. He does roll smoothly as well as Thomas, though. I do hate when Thomas's rods fall off. That's starting to make me concerned about if I get some G-scale track and run these guys. Yes, they do fit on G-scale track. And another thing is that...
Isn't that what we have that you just got?
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
I have tried it. Like, I was going to make a video on the Gage 1 Thomas being on G-scale track. Like, I have the clips, I just haven't meshed them into one video.
Gotcha.
Another thing is that his front bogey is in the way, and if you don't know what this is, like, this is supposed to, like, keep him in line so he stays perfect on the tracks.
The spinny thing?
Yeah, like,
that's
this
cool.
is his pilot wheels.
It's cool that it works, and it was 3D printed.
Yeah. Even the screw is 3D printed.
That's awesome.
Though it does get in the way when you're actually trying to move him off the tracks. So if he is on the tracks, he does work. But anyways, I did pop off the face, and the face is actually held on with tacky glue, because I don't know if I want to make his other faces, because I know the Lazy Train hasn't made any other of his expressions, though. If he were to, I would want him to make his shock face and his smug face. Like, that's one of my favorite faces he's ever made. And here's his tender. Like, now, the tender is a bit top-heavy, because, like, this is filled to the brim. It's completely full. Yeah. It's completely full with fish tank pebbles.
Before we decided to put a sponge inside the other one to prop it up.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I might fix this or not, because, like, I would be worried that it might ruin the paint.
Yeah, you'd either have to make a whole new one. Like, I don't think you'd ever get that out without cracking it.
I'm sure you know that James doesn't like getting his paint dirty.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like pulling freight cars. Like, I know he prefers pulling coaches, and I don't blame him. Like, I think James is one of the most relatable characters. And his number 5 is a decal, and I will say that.
We print those?
Yes, we did print them.
And you cut it really carefully, apparently.
And now he's supposed to be like a scarlet red paint, though this is more of a, like, a little bit darker than...
Cherry red.
Yeah.
Though, it looks good in the video, though. It looks a little bit darker in the video than it does with my eyeballs.
I mean, yes, he still does look like the real-life James prop, especially with that new face. Like, I'm also glad that he did make a face like this. And this is my favorite face, like, of the smiling James face.
20 minutes.
You can forget this face entirely and just, like, accept this as the best face, though. If you like this face, I respect your opinion.
Alright.
So, yeah, but anyways, I don't know what else to say about James. That he's cool. I think he's a great engine, and he's a well-thought-out character. And I think he did have a nice character development in season 1, though I'm pretty sure they did, like, undo the development of these characters, like, regress them back to normal. Which isn't too big of a problem, unless you're saying season 8, where they assassinated the characters without, like they almost got away with assassinating the characters and Flanderizing them until Andrew Brenner came into the picture and fixed it all. And I sure wish Thomas ended after season 20 before Mattel came along with Big World Big Adventures. Though I am happy we still have Thomas and Friends. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the Gauge 1 Thomas and Friends video. Like, I really think that the model series does really hold up as really well. And it's certainly better than the CGI series. Like, one thing I don't understand is, like, why computer animation is taking over stop motion animation. Because, like, stop motion is, like, a best way to express what you can do by hand with animation on national television.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty nice, like, how well the story's written. They are based off the real stories from the books. Like, not all of them. Like, I would say season 5 is where they start to make their own stories. But anyways, if you enjoyed this, which engine did you like more? Did you like James the Red Engine or Thomas the Tank Engine? Personally, I like both equally, but I would say James has one of the best faces, and so does Thomas if his pupils weren't small. Yeah, like, I know. So, if you're excited for me to, like, make the Gauge 1 troublesome trucks, please tell me in the comments below. And I don't know if I might make more Gauge 1 trains at some point. I might. If I do, I might make Percy and Emily.
We just got 2 more new rolls of filament in the mail.
Yeah, but anyways. And also, if you enjoyed this James face over this one, please tell me. I think this leaks better. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!